Raizin the Roof, presented by the Central Indiana Realtist Association, a local chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Our mission is to build wealth through home ownership by enhancing economic development. We accomplish this goal by informing, advocating, and educating in the communities we serve. And now, Raizin the Roof.
Welcome and thank you for joining us as we're raising the roof. These programs are designed to show you how to build generational wealth through homeownership. I'm Dolores Kennedy, broker owner of B&K Realty, your host for today, and my co-host is
Priscilla Russell with United Real Estate, your team with Hustle.
And today we have Rachel Nelson, who is from NeighborLink, Indianapolis. She's going to give us some information we can use, and that's what Sarah is all about, bringing information that you can use. She's going to tell us about the programs that they offer for homeowners and just give us some tidbits, things that we don't know. So we will be right back with Rachel Nelson with NeighborLink Indianapolis. And welcome back as we're raising the roof. Today we have Rachel Nelson, who is the Executive Director of NeighborLink Indianapolis. Rachel, welcome to Raising the Roof.
Thank you. Good morning.
Rachel, tell us a little bit about yourself and NeighborLink.
Sure. So I actually got involved with NeighborLink near their start date. So they actually started in 2013 and I jumped in about 2015. I started as a volunteer, moved into a board position, and then finally came on board as an employee. And then just last year moved into the executive director role.
Wow.
NeighborLink Indianapolis has actually been serving the Indianapolis community primarily by providing home repairs at no cost to the homeowner for qualifying homeowners.
Well, tell me this, Rachel, how do you qualify for even to get involved in NeighborLinks?
That is a great question. So first, you have to be within our service area. We're still a smallish organization, so we don't go the full scope of Marion County unless you have a citation. If you have a health department citation, then we can in fact come take a look at your project and see if it's something that we can work with. The second geography boundary is basically the 465 loop with Washington Street being our furthest south point. So anything south of that, we're still not quite into yet. But if you're north of that line and within the loop, you're in our geography. The next qualifier is age. So either 62 years or above, or an individual with a disability. And then the final qualifying factor is income. So the individuals that we serve are at 150% or below the federal poverty line.
Wow. Now, tell me, you said that this is for our seniors that are primarily seniors, it seems, are the disabled, I'm assuming. Tell me, how are they referred? I mean, because we've heard very little about NeighborLink, but what we've heard, you coming out like gangbusters, that you are trying to do a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So how do you get involved with that?
Sure. So since 2013, we've actually already served 1,500 homeowners within the area, and we've done more than 3,000 projects since our beginning. So individuals are finding out about us through various sources. 211 is a big one. I think a recent iteration of that online is Aunt Bertha, and then it has since changed its name yet again. But it is another one of the social services. Area hospitals, any of their sort of patient advocates and social workers, they also are aware of us and do refer us to patients that they know qualify. Marion County Public Health Department is a great partner. Certainly refer individuals to us as well when they realize that they would fall within our boundaries. And then word of mouth is huge. So once we help one neighbor, they are more apt to then tell another neighbor that they know would be benefiting from our services as well.
Well, tell me this, Rachel, when you're talking about some of the services that you offer and who refers you. So you're saying mostly the seniors and their incomes. How are you going about just making sure that everybody knows about this in the areas that they are serving, that you're serving right now?
Yeah, so we actually have not promoted too heavily because we do want to actually help individuals that call us. We don't want to have a huge wait list, and we almost always have a wait list. However, we have been pretty good at completing close to the full wait list each year. We don't leave too many people hanging. COVID did set us back a little bit, but we have since been able to ramp that back up. So we don't do a whole lot of pushing and advertising specifically for our services, but we are trying to get the word out there to those individuals who absolutely would qualify. We are growing our volunteer base, and we actually had more volunteer groups come out last year than ever before, and that is a big part of what helps us be able to accomplish these home repairs.
One thing, Rachel, one question that I had was, when you talk about a citation case, I mean, we know that, but could you explain to us what that would encompass?
Absolutely. So the Marion County Public Health Department will on occasion issue a citation for someone. These are citations along the lines of course, health and safety for a homeowner. They may include something like shipping paint on a home or exposed wood. It could be an unsafe foundation or gapping around windows. We've even seen some where it's unpainted window trim because of that exposed wood and the potential for water infiltration into the house. Gutters hanging off the roof, poor gutters, things like that basically affect the home stability and safety.
Okay, you mentioned that this is no cost to the homeowner.
Correct.
How is that possible?
Sure, that is a great question. So the way that we're able to do this is we primarily use volunteers where we can. So that volunteer labor is a huge, huge factor in making sure that we're able to do this. We do have handymen on staff as well, handymen and women actually, and they are able to go out and do those projects, and they're paid essentially by grants and donations. So we, like many not-for-profits, do thrive on grants that are funded to us as well as donations from the community. Churches, other area organizations have been very, very supportive, both with their funding and volunteers. And the more partnerships that we're able to make that sort of come alongside us and help us do this, the better it is.
So how would one know to donate? How they would go about donating to your project?
Absolutely. So we make that very easy on our website. Our website is N for neighbor and L for link and Indy for indy.org. And our website makes it very easy to donate. It also makes it easy to find other ways to get plugged in. So if you are interested in volunteering, we make that part easy. And if you're interested in getting donating in a bigger way, specific to larger projects, like if you want to help us supply HVACs or if you want to help us fix roofs, you can go ahead and signify that within your donation, and we work with you on that.
So how often do you have an opportunity to speak with churches? Because I know many of the churches that I've had associations with, they are always looking for ways to help the community, especially our senior members of the community. So how are you contacting them, and who takes care of that?
Yes, so many of the area churches, we actually have connections with either a member of theirs or with one of their church staff that we work with to either pull in some of their youth groups, some of their organized groups that do want to go out and do some volunteer work. That's a big part of who our volunteer labor is. We do also have area churches that recently have come alongside us to specifically partner when it comes to their neighbors. So just last year, we had a great group from Eastern Star and another church and neighborhood affiliation on the east side of Indianapolis, and they specifically wanted to help a neighbor that was very near them. And so we, of course, worked to make sure that that happened. So we do currently have some contacts with churches, but then anyone is more than welcome to reach out to us. We did speak to churches in our early years. We had a lot of presentations at churches, and I think that was a big help to our start. We haven't done many in-person presentations in the last couple of years, but we certainly are open to it.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I wondered when they talk about 150% of the federal poverty law, I mean, I don't even understand exactly where that would be in Marion County. Could you?
Sure.
I mean, it helps to have an estimate of what we're talking about when we're talking to clients that we're going to be referring to you to help them through their tough times.
Right. So an individual who is a single person household, typically at that point is making no more than $20,000 a year. A two-person household is only up to about $24,000, $25,000. And so it does increase like that for three-person, four-person households. So this is a very, very low income group of individuals.
So it's possibly mostly someone that is on maybe Social Security income, that type of it, not much more than that, if any more than that, is where they would qualify.
Correct. Correct. We do also see a lot of veterans that even though they may be on disability in some of those services, they still, are not above that particular poverty line either.
Well, that just sort of helps us to know how to present it and to our clients and to our friends, and even to when we're going in front of our church members to ask them, what their needs are. So that's very important for that. So thanks a lot for that. I had no idea it was that we're looking at that type of income. So that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Now, Rachel, we're just about out of time. When we come back, we want to ask you, how did NeighborLink come to be? I mean, we just one day started hearing about NeighborLink. How did it start? Whose idea? Where did that idea come from? We will be right back. So get ready for those questions. We will be right back with Rachel Nelson, who's the Executive Director of NeighborLink Indianapolis. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Shelley Specchio, CEO of MyBor Realtor Association. We support the mission of the Central Indiana Realtist Association to improve the quality of life of the underserved and enhance the economic development of the community. At MyBor, our leadership in economic and community development efforts directly impact the strength of our communities and promote the importance of home ownership for all. Learn more about how realtors strengthen our communities by visiting mybor.com.
Welcome back to Raising the Roof. This is Priscilla Russell here with Dolores Kennedy, and we have a special guest today. We have Miss Rachel Nelson, the Executive Director with NeighborLinks Indianapolis. Now, we still have some other questions that we wanted to know what's going on with NeighborLinks. Tell me how I could get started. If I need a repair done, what's the first thing I would do, and what's the total process for getting everything done?
Yeah, great. So the best way to get started with NeighborLink is actually to call us. So I can give you that phone number.
Yes.
That is 317-286-2748. So a homeowner would call that number and they go through our intake process. We have some great volunteers that have done this for years, and they walk them through to make sure, one, that they qualify, two, to learn more about what their home repair needs are, and kind of walk them through what our timeline would be for those particular repairs. So that is in fact the best way to get a part of our queue of home repairs.
So now, Rachel, when we start getting things done on the home, we want nice colors and things like this. Are we able to choose some of these things, or is there going to be the basic things to make sure things are up to standards?
So that's a good question. So all of the home repairs that we focus on are very much critical in nature. So we certainly aren't extreme home makeover by any means, but we are making sure that that homeowner can age in place safely. So, we'll be finding them some sturdy grab bars or fixing their steps up into their home, making sure they have a handrail. That's huge in a lot of these older homes. And then for outside paint, for the exterior paint, we do try to match the color of the home, the existing paint. It's not always entirely possible, just depending on the age and the condition, but we do try to respect that as well.
Great. You mentioned something in our segment before about having volunteers to come out and to do items of work. We are getting ready to go into our Realtist Week in another couple of 3 months, and we're going to be looking for a day of service. So we may be contacting you in order for us to be able to help maybe do something like that. What do you think about that, Priscilla?
Well, this is the first thing we'll have to do is find out if people with no talent can volunteer to help in the transition.
Because we're not professionals in that realm, but you know what? We can, pick up weeds and do stuff, minimal stuff, but it's a day of service. And just sitting here listening to you talk about that looks like that would be a great opportunity for Sarah to be a part of that. So we will be contacting you for that. I mean, we don't have a lot of professional experience in doing anything, so you can't give us the hard stuff, but we will help in any way that we can.
We gladly take willing hands and enthusiasm. We can certainly make use of that.
Okay.
Well, if you need a supervisor, someone to encourage people on how to do things and what to do, then I could be right there for you. I could be your trash collector, things like that. So
we do have site supervisor volunteer positions. So Priscilla, we could be calling you for that.
Well, one of the other things that you said, that sometimes you have people with certain talents to volunteer. So would we know ahead of time what kind of job you're doing, and if we could find someone that could volunteer the day of service to help you with the things that need to be done that day, so they could be done according to the rules and regulations? What do you think?
So we actually have a pretty on top of it team when it comes to our operations. One, we want to make sure that every volunteer that comes in contact with us has a great experience. We want no one to feel lost. We want everyone to feel like they definitely have a hand in helping this homeowner. So we make sure that, yes, you are prepared, you know what you're getting into, you know exactly how to do what needs to be done and how to stay safe, because that's huge for us as well. If you happen to have handy volunteers on your group, then we love knowing that up front, because we can in fact then associate them with a project that would make sense for them. However, if your group is looking to just do something together, we will make sure that that project is something that all of you, regardless of skill level, can absolutely do together and still be a huge, huge help to that homeowner.
Well, one of the things I'd like to know is, could you give us an example of maybe some of the jobs that you did last year, and what kind of time frame happened? Were they single ladies, single guys, families? What all was going on with some of the things that happened, like 2021?
Yeah, let me talk a little bit more about our homeowners themselves. So primarily, our homeowners are women. They're elderly women. That is the bulk of whom we serve. And most of the projects that we do are for exterior projects, for citations. A lot of those look like exterior painting. So there are a lot of chipping homes, and we take care of that scraping safely, as well as then putting on that new paint to make sure that that home is safe and secure. We also make sure that the yards are clear. So we may not think about it, but it's actually kind of a safety hazard to have giant bushes inhibiting your view, especially in and out of doors, and some of your entry points, to make sure that you can see clearly of who's there or who's not there and that kind of a thing. So we make sure that your yards are clear, trees are trimmed, Nothing is connected to a window, so we don't have to worry about broken window panes. Yard cleanup just in general to help a space look cleaner is also a big part of what we do with volunteer groups. Now on the handy side, we do a ton of accessibility. That is one of our largest things that we do. Not ramps. Ramps are done by saws, but we will help fix those ramps if they, throughout the years, have sort of deteriorated. We also help with handrails, steps, grab bars, as I mentioned before. Plumbing is a huge one as well. Lots of indoor clogs, perhaps a broken toilet. We've been kind of amazed at what individuals will do to be able to kind of live in their space if they can't afford to fix something plumbing related. It's amazing the things they come up with on how to kind of not need that. Heating is a huge thing that we run into, HVAC systems, water heaters, and we do have other area partners that we'll kind of work with to see if they also can take care of that, because those are very costly items. But we do work with that homeowner to make sure that is also taken care of. So again, critical in nature, but 18% of the projects that we did last year, and we did about 530 projects last year, but 18% of those were, in fact, citation cases.
Well, tell me this, that's amazing, 530. That's fantastic. Well, my other question is, how often do they take a look at things like vents that are inside, if they're older, trying to breathe the air? Is that a consideration that they take a look at for people in this age group?
So that's not something that we do primarily. However, if we find a homeowner that would really benefit from, say, weatherization services, that's sort of a part of what that service is. So KG, are you familiar with that group? Central Action of Greater Indianapolis.
No, but we got it now.
We got it now.
Okay. So they have a weatherization program, and they're ones that, especially if someone is on EAP, is that it, EAP? If they're on that, then that's a pretty good avenue for us to get them over into the weatherization services there. And they'll do a full scope to make sure that the house is buttoned up well, vents are working well, HVAC system is in good shape. You know, they do a great full scope on that. So if it's something that would fit with that, we try to refer them over there.
Okay, one of the other questions that I would have is that many times when you were talking about painting, one of the things that happens is that we are always, as realtors, concerned about lead-based paint and things like that. Do they test it to see if there's any evidence, or do they need to do anything special for the painting? Is that something that they consider?
So we kind of assume that based on the age of the homes that we work on, that it probably is lead paint, or that lead paint is in there. So we do really, really urge our volunteers to wear masks. Many times we do provide masks, we do provide gloves, goggles. And so we let the volunteers know we definitely encourage long sleeves and making sure no skin is exposed. And then we do lay down our plastic and make sure that everything is collected, and we try to vacuum it around, making sure that no particles are left behind. So we do our best to just sort of assume that it is, kind of run from that perspective.
Rachel, what can we do as CERA, as a group, to encourage people, because there are people that we run across, sometimes somebody's saying, well, you know what, I just want, and we're getting short on time, but there's sometimes when people will say they're going to go ahead and sell their house because they just cannot do anything, if there are too many repairs. How can we as a group, CERA, contact you or get you and get our people in touch with you guys to utilize your services?
Sure. So I would say giving a person hope is huge. So especially if that home has been in their family for generations and they are hoping to pass that along for further generations, really do encourage them, especially if they fit within our qualifications. We want to be able to take a look at their projects and help them. And so if we can help secure that home for many, many years to come, we would love to do that. The best way, of course, to get a hold of us is through that phone number, that 317-286-2740 phone number. And they can go from there, and we walk them through. We have a very thorough process for that.
Oh, Rachel, we are so happy that you came to see us today and give us this information about NeighborLink Indianapolis. We do know you've given out your number a couple of times, and your number is up under your name that people can contact you in order for them to get repairs or refer someone to get repairs that may be needed in their home. We appreciate you coming to visit us. We thank you, and we're going to contact you because Sarah's going to come and help you on our community day.
That would be wonderful. We would love
Thank you
that.
so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dolores Kennedy, broker owner of B&K Real Estate Services, where helping you buy or sell your home is what I do. Call me. You see the number. Call me.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Russell, your agent with Hustle with United Real Estate. I have over 30 years experience helping buyers and sellers to build wealth through real estate. Call me at 317-872-SELL.
Welcome back to Raising the Roof. We had an exciting guest today, Ms. Rachel Nelson from NeighborLink Indianapolis. She gave some good information, Priscilla.
Yes, she did. And the fact that they helped 530 projects last year that they were able to help seniors to take care of, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it seems as if they are, they're looking for other families, and they, as she said, they don't have a long waiting list at the end. This is information that you can use. If you know of anyone out there that may need some help with getting home repairs, have them contact Rachel Nelson at NeighborLink. I'll give her number again. It is 317-286-2740. This is awesome information and awesome help. And we're going to go out there and try to help them on our community day so that Sarah can do something. I can pick up a paintbrush. I can't paint, but I can pick one up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, so I'll be sure that I take my trash bag.
Okay.
I'll be taking whatever's left over, so I could help. But I think that we need to get in touch with our churches and let them know how we can help our seniors and things that they need to get taken care of.
I agree. I thank you for joining us today for Raising the Roof. Again, if you want any more information concerning NeighborLink, please contact NeighborLink Indianapolis. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
On the first Wednesday of every month, realtors and real estate professionals are invited to our CERA meeting, which is at 11:30. For information on attending the meeting, please go to our website at www.CERA.NAREB.org for meeting information. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dolores Kennedy, broker owner of B&K Real Estate Services, where helping you buy or sell your home is what I do. Call me. You see the number. Call me.
Raizin the Roof.